Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in. You know, living in an ever-changing economy with so much uncertainty, many people find themselves asking the question, should I start my own business? I personally believe that not everybody's supposed to be a business owner or entrepreneur. Some people just are supposed to have a job. Tonight on our show, we're going to be weighing the pros and the cons, and we're going to be finding out what's necessary if you are considering opening your own business. We have entrepreneur, best-selling author, and speaker Tim Knox is on the show. Fun guy. Many people say he's a cross between Donald Trump and Jeff Foxworthy, and when you hear him, you're gonna see why. We also have Amy Norris, real estate guru. She's gonna be stopping by and telling us what's happening in the real estate market. Amy Norris. And we'll also be joined by my dear friend Margot Bush as co-host. Don't go anywhere. If you're thinking about starting your own business, you won't want to miss this episode. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
Come experience Nolan's. Savor award-winning steaks, Greek-style cuisine, fresh local seafood, and an extensive choice of wines. Whether you'd like to reserve the large private dining room, enjoy a meal on an outdoor deck, or rock the night away in our lounge, Nolan's, now celebrating 25 years of exceeding your expectations for casual fine dining, live entertainment, and dancing nightly.
When visiting Gulf Shores, Alabama, make sure to visit the Gulf Coast Zoo, home of the little zoo that could from Animal Planet. Get up close in our petting zoo. Enjoy our unique animal encounters. More than 300 monkeys, bears, reptiles, big cats, parrots, and more call Gulf Coast home. Come on, go wild at the Alabama Gulf Coast Zoo.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome. I'm joined by my dear friend Margot Bush. Margot, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing super fantastic.
I am
It's
really.
good to see you again.
It's good to see you too.
I dig your hair. You're sporting a new
I
hair.
did. I did. And can you see the red? And I see and the white. And I put up a few highlights.
It looks good.
Thanks. Thanks.
How long did it take, realistically?
3 hours. But
Don't make me talk about time, man. Well, it's great to see you. I feel like I did just see you. I see you all the time, so.
I know.
Do you have anything to talk about?
I do, because I'm really excited about the show tonight, because you're actually talking about business, and I own a business.
Well, you know, Margot, a lot of times we talk a lot about entrepreneurialism, but as we'll have celebrities and entertainment on as well, and everybody always says, like, when you're talking to entrepreneurs, the show's so good. I don't know what they say when we aren't talking entrepreneurial, but that's that's what I like. So.
Well, it's because, I mean, the truth is you're really good at talking about
thank you.
Business and coaching businesses.
Our guest is kind of both, because he actually has a background in entertainment also, but successful entrepreneur, so I'm jazzed.
So, I mean, businesses are hard. You know, it's hard to own a business, and it's hard to stay in it a long time. And you know, my story is that I didn't know anything about business when my husband died, and you taught me everything I know. And
it's scary too when you first kind of get in the pool of doing your own thing. Nobody else is responsible except for you, and it's
completely different. You know, I mean, I worked with my husband, but it's completely different, because it's not truly your responsibility until it is your responsibility, and then things change. You've got to start making the money. You've got to start paying all the employees. You've got to pay all the lights. You've got to do all the.
And I think, wouldn't you agree, the hardest part is kind of asking for the money? Because there's so many good small business owners out there that are really good conversationalists. They know how to schmooze and talk to people.
Well, I think
when it comes down to earning money.
I think that's the number one thing that you taught me. Of course, our story is that I told you never to. I didn't want to have anything to do with sales, and so if you could teach me how to do business without sales, which was impossible.
Crazy.
And now, I prefer it. And I think you have to learn as a business owner how to go out and get money, find money, and ask for money, and provide a service good enough that somebody wants to give you their money and keep coming back.
That's right.
Because they're your greatest asset.
Well, I'm certainly jazzed to have Tim on the show. And before we get to Tim Knox, I wanted to bring up our dear friend Amy Norris to tell us what's going on in the real estate market. Give a warm welcome to Amy Norris.
Hey, how are you? Good. Hey, how are you?
Great to have you.
Great to be here as always.
Now,
Great
you
show.
I haven't seen in a while, and I know that, as mentioned, people are probably sick of hearing number one, but you're number one in the state. Also, you know, northern Georgia, Florida, all over the place.
Thank you.
But I know you don't take credit for everything. You always say that you have an amazing team.
We have, yes, an amazing team. And what I'm also really proud of us on our team is that we also won the Quality Service Award. So
Quality.
that's pretty
Yay.
amazing.
Well, hey,
That
give
is
her a hand for that quality
That
service.
is great.
I have to say, somebody on your team sent me an email. Close to where I live now, there's a vacant lot. And, I mean, what I see, tell me if I'm wrong, I probably am, but properties are just, it's not like it was a few months ago. The temperature is really changing for buyers and sellers.
It's definitely heating up. In fact, I have some news on that front.
Let's have it.
Turquoise has sold so many condos over at the Turquoise place that they've actually raised the prices $50,000
Wow.
a unit, so that there is very few remaining units.
Well, and you know, the turquoise, those of you that haven't visited the lovely Gulf Coast, there's a turquoise unit that it's phenomenal.
There's nothing like it. It's
you're
an icon
overlooking
on the beach.
the water. It's something in Southern Cal, let's say, would probably be $5 to $7 million, and
Absolutely.
I know that the last time I looked at them, and they're very spacious. They were like 700,000 or 800,000, something like that. So 50,000 still is a complete bargain.
Yeah,
comparative to-
because they couldn't even build it for the same quality
Yeah.
that you're getting. You know, it's glass, hurricane rated,
It's unreal.
fire and mold retarded, plus the luxury items, gas stoves, your own private hot tub.
Yeah.
Give us a call. We'll help you get into one.
Yeah, right.
And there's
And what
200,000.
can I know that we mentioned things are changing for buyers and sellers.
Yep.
Do you have a quick piece of advice for us?
Yes, a couple things. Number one, get ready because this area is exploding. Everybody's talking about the Blue Collar Country Project. It's a $200 million project coming in Foley, Alabama, which is
Yep.
just north of here.
Yeah.
And of course, it's on 500 acres. It's going to be 100,000 square feet of retail, hotel, RV. It'll have rides. They're calling it Six Flags meets Branson.
Yep.
Larry the Cable Guy is going to have a rib restaurant, I think, and Jeff Foxworthy's going to have a steakhouse.
Yes. I met with that group, and as you mentioned, they're very famous for the comedy tour.
Yes.
But they actually were responsible for the Branson landing, and these are some very savvy guys. And
Yep.
I sat down with them a few weeks back, and they said out of any area they've looked at in the United States, the most profitability and the place where they can get the biggest draw, Foley, Alabama.
It's a great
ironic.
location.
Yeah.
So only, 15 minutes from the beach. And then as far as buyers and sellers go, for my real estate advice, a lot of people don't know this, but if you're a seller in Florida, watch out for those contracts when your realtor goes to give you an offer, because pre-written into the contract, it says that you as a seller are automatically going to pay up to 1.5% for repairs.
Wow.
And if that's an expensive condo or a high-dollar house,
That can equate to quite a bit.
yeah, and that's 1.5% for regular repairs, 1.5% for wood infestation or termites, and 1.5% for other things. So make sure they put a limit on it.
Well, and I've talked to people all across the country. I've talked to some friends even in Southern Cal, and which really got hit by the economy, and they're saying things are turning there as well. So really, all across the U.S., it's starting to
It's
starting to
heating
go.
up.
So you got to
Yes,
get
don't
ready.
wait.
But if you've never visited the Gulf Coast, it's the best
Now's
beaches.
the
You
time.
have to come. And if people want more information, you can go to amysellsthebeach.com. Amy, thank you so much for
you.
stopping by, and we'll be right back with Tim Knox. Don't go anywhere.
estate today offers incredible opportunities, low prices, and extremely low interest rates. Hi, I'm Amy Norris from Amy Sells the Beach. Right now, there are opportunities in all areas. Our team can help you put your money to work finding your dream or investment property. And if you're looking to sell, no one can give you better exposure to buyers and make your property stand out. Experience matters when looking for opportunity. I'm Amy Norris. See why we're #1 at amysellsthebeach.com.
Come experience Nolan's. Savor award-winning steaks, Greek-style cuisine, fresh local seafood, and an extensive choice of wines. Whether you'd like to reserve the large private dining room, enjoy a meal on an outdoor deck, or rock the night away in our lounge, Nolan's, now celebrating 25 years of exceeding your expectations for casual fine dining, live entertainment, and dancing nightly.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome entrepreneur and best-selling author Tim Knox.
Hey, how are you? Good morning. Hello, hello.
How are you, my friend?
Good, good. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. I'm glad to have you on. Now, I will have to say this episode is a testament to the power of LinkedIn.
It really is, yeah.
Because this and then my episode next week both are from people that I've been fortunate enough to meet on LinkedIn. It's such a powerful...
The internet's a beautiful thing. By the way, I wore my TV boots.
Oh, now you still have the
And I
price
still
tag on
have
it,
the
my
socks
friend.
here, yeah. There you go. I actually bought these on the way down. Did you get a shot of that?
Oh, my goodness.
I support local businesses wherever I go.
Oh, gosh, we are going to get along, Tim. Now, first of all, I know that you've been an entrepreneur for many years. You're a best-selling author. In fact, I know that when your book came out, within an hour, it was bestseller on Amazon.
It did, yeah.
And you've been very blessed. And but before we get into that, tell us a little bit about your background and how you got started as an entrepreneur.
Sure. My background is the proverbial rags to riches story. Came from a very poor family in Alabama. Alabama people? Connecticut.
No,
okay.
not this crowd.
But very, very poor family, and so we were always very resourceful. I can remember having businesses when I was a little kid. My very first business, I would steal produce out of my dad's garden and sell it door to door. And I refer to that as
Blame the rabbit.
Well, I did that only until he caught me. Yeah. And I refer to that as the time I took a beating in the produce business. Yeah. So, but just always very resourceful. And,
I thought you'd be like, Dad, take it easy on me. I'll give you half.
my inventory was cut short.
Right,
let's put it that way. But yeah, come from very humble beginnings. Always been entrepreneurial. Kind of an odd fact. I have 2 brothers, a sister, and 8 cousins who are all entrepreneurs.
Wow,
so
wow,
yeah, out of poverty comes great things.
Yeah. Well, and I know over the years you've helped many, or you've started up personally many different companies, and but now in your life you're really working with others. You're helping them expound and kind of get their vision together and become entrepreneurs. What would you say when you sit down with a new entrepreneur? What's generally the first piece of advice you wind up with?
It's a really good question. I do work with a lot of folks who think they want to be entrepreneurs. Yeah. And the first thing I always tell everybody is, well, you need to take a really good look in the mirror, because not everybody is cut out to be an entrepreneur. Yes. A lot of people think it will be very easy. I'll be rich by Friday.
I do my own thing.
I'll be my own boss, et cetera, et cetera. But, there are certain characteristics that we entrepreneurs have. You knock us down, we get right back up. Yeah. If we lose everything, we start over. We persevere. And I have a lot of people say, well, I want to quit my 8-hour-a-day job. And I'm like, well, you realize you're going to go into a 16-hour-a-day business. Right. So you've got to really look inside and make sure it's something you want to do, because you're going to get up every day and do it. Yeah. So.
And really, it's almost a lifestyle. It's
really
not really a job. And in the beginning, you're usually first one to arrive, last one to leave. You pay yourself last after everybody else. So a lot of times they see the be your own boss, come in when I want. They see the good side of it. But, hey, there's some real work involved.
Well, there is. And if you're initially starting out, you're a one-man or a one-woman shop, you're going to do everything. It's not just sales and marketing. You're going to be cleaning the toilet. You're going to be putting the furniture together. You're going to be out there beating the bushes for business, and right. You've got to have the wherewithal to stick with it, because it's tough.
And I know last night we were talking at dinner, and you did write a column for quite a while for Entrepreneur Magazine, and other things as well in writing. And also, as I mentioned, best-selling author, entrepreneur, and speaker. And both of us, we have a similar background. I know you did work with the Kauffman Foundation, helping write business plans and things. And as an investor, I've had so many people come and say, I need capital, or I have to get a certain amount before I start my own business or whatever. But you hear so many ideas where everybody thinks they have the winner of, like, you gotta hear this. And some of them are really good ideas. Some of them, when you hear them, you're like, I don't understand what you're talking about. We probably both have our stories, but what do you feel like how do you know if it's really a good idea, if you're getting ready to get started? And the other thing is, do you feel a responsibility to shoot them straight and be like, I don't get it, kid. It's not going to work?
Oh yeah, I do. When whether I'm teaching or consulting, if someone tells me a business idea, I'm legally obligated to give them my opinion. But you know how it is. Every entrepreneur falls in love with their idea.
Yeah.
It is their baby.
They're emotionally compromised.
Well, they are. It's their baby, and sometimes you have to say, "Hey, that's an ugly baby."
Yeah.
And it's hard to get them to convince them of that, but you have to be honest with them, because you don't want them to waste thousands of dollars, thousands of hours, lose their home. So, if it's a great idea, I'll tell you. If it's not a great idea, I'm going to tell you.
I'm 100% with you. Now, let's talk a little bit about age. We've had entrepreneurs on, 14, 15 years old. In fact, we had an episode recently where it was a self-made millionaire at 16, and we've had, of course, others. But do you feel like age is really a factor when starting your own business?
Well, it really isn't. One of the fastest growing segments of entrepreneurs are the seniors, the baby boomers, the guys my age, girls my age older. The only difference is when you start a business when you're younger, you may have a little more energy.
Yeah, sure.
You've got a lot more time.
Yeah.
So if you do go into business and you lose everything, it's easier to build back up if you're 20 than when you're 65. But as far as is age really relevant, I would go with age and wisdom any day over, young and energetic. Unless it's a 16-year-old millionaire, then I'm on board.
That's right.
Yeah.
And what about sex? Is that going to, do you think sex?
I like sex very much.
Well, okay, but in terms of business, do you feel like one is, males have we always hear it's a man's world in business.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that's true, or both now?
It really isn't. It was for many, many years, but the ladies are catching up.
That's the truth.
Right.
Amen, sister.
That's true.
There you
Come
go.
on.
If you look at the statistics,
we are an army.
Women are starting businesses 2 to 1 over men
That's
now.
right.
And I find it very interesting, though, but women take a very different slant. Women are more emotional.
That's right.
And more nurturing in business. And I think that's one reason why they are succeeding, especially in these times, over us guys who just barrel through.
That's right.
So
and passion is such a big part of getting in, and they've got to be passionate. That. So
they do.
We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, I want to talk a little bit about capital. There's so many people that feel like, the reason I haven't leapt and gotten the pool is because I don't have the money. So I want to see how you get around that, or if you have any tips for raising money. More with Tim Knox in a minute. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Real estate today offers incredible opportunities, low prices, and extremely low interest rates. Hi, I'm Amy Norris from Amy Sells the Beach. Right now, there are opportunities in all areas. Our team can help you put your money to work finding your dream or investment property. And if you're looking to sell, no one can give you better exposure to buyers and make your property stand out. Experience matters when looking for opportunity. I'm Amy Norris. See why we're #1 at amysellsthebeach.com.
When visiting Gulf Shores, Alabama, make sure to visit the Gulf Coast Zoo, home of the little zoo that could from Animal Planet. Get up close in our petting zoo. Enjoy our unique animal encounters. More than 300 monkeys, bears, reptiles, big cats, parrots, and more call Gulf Coast home. Come on, go wild at the Alabama Gulf Coast Zoo.
Hi, I'm Dan Vega, host of the Gulf Coast's favorite new talk show, Tuesdays with Dan. Join us every Tuesday where we'll share success principles and hear from your favorite celebrity guests and entrepreneurs. Check us out late night after Jimmy Kimmel and The Insider, or on My 35 at 8 a.m. much. Welcome. I'm here with Tim Knox. We've been discussing starting up your own business. And I agree with what you were saying is it used to be, they would say it's a man's world. And I think definitely that there's an even playing field now. And maybe in some industries, maybe females have an advantage. Because I think that, I never tell anybody to go into business unless they're, 200% passionate about the idea. Yep. A lot of times women play more on the emotion, and that serves to their advantage. In terms of experience, though, you had mentioned that you would rather take still the experience.
I would. If you're going to think about starting a business, you should have experience in that business. Yeah. Whether it's working for someone else as an employee or being a partner. One of the mistakes a lot of entrepreneurs make is they try to start a business they know nothing about.
Yeah, right.
Just because you have feet does not qualify you to sell shoes.
Yeah, sure.
So experience in a business is always good, and you can get that experience working for someone else.
Well, and what's amazing too is with today's world, I think you can get $1 million education for about $200 worth of books and online blogs and other things. But I will say, and I don't know if you'll agree or not, but I feel like there's so many people that have this great vision, they have this idea, and they don't know how they're going to do it. And they wait to even get started, they wait for all the how. And by the time they figure out the how, the world has changed so much, technology has changed so much that they almost need a new how. So I think you do have to have experience somewhat in the field you're contemplating starting a business, but don't wait to collect all of it. If you got 20% figured out, get in, get started, and the rest will come.
Yeah, I agree. If you wait until the perfect time, there's no such thing.
Yeah.
But a good year in, you're right. You can do a lot of study on the internet now.
Yeah.
You can get an MBA online in a week, and put that practical experience to good use. I know a guy. Yeah.
$600. Yeah. But now let's talk a little bit about capital, because they always say the number one reason why small businesses go out of business is lack of capital. And I don't know if I totally agree, because I've seen so many that maybe initially they have the right amount of capital, but because of the way those funds were allocated, or maybe unforeseen occurrences due to poor planning, then they ran out and they said, well, we need more. And but I do know that it is an issue when you're starting your own business. What's your opinion?
Yeah, I agree. It's always where's the money going to come from?
Yeah.
And if you decide, okay, I'm going to need $1 million, you're really going to need $3 or $4 million.
Right.
When you are looking at what it's going to cost you to start up your business, entrepreneurs have these rose-colored glasses, and they always overestimate the amount of money they're going to make, and they underestimate the amount of money they need.
That's right.
And you're dead on. The number one reason I think businesses go out of business is a lack of planning a lack of funding management, if you will.
That's right. Well, and I've seen so many companies start off on little more than, sweat equity.
Sure.
And they've made goes of it. And also, as you know, when you're dealing with a bank, they want credit and maybe collateral and, all these factors. But a lot of times, your vision, it couldn't be launched by a bank anyways, because there's a cap on what they'll lend. Right. So you have to go outside to venture capitalists or maybe angel investors. And what many people don't realize is a lot of times dealing with those, they're not so concerned about credit or how old you are or whatever. They really base it on, the idea. How strong is the idea? How good's the plan, as you mentioned, and then the risk-reward ratio.
Yeah, I think every investor, at least myself, probably you, investors that I know, they don't really invest in the business so much as they invest in the entrepreneur.
Right.
So you got to have a great plan, you've got to have a great idea, but you've got to be passionate, and they've got to believe that you can execute, or they're not going to write you a check. Right. And banks are not loaning money now.
No.
Sorry.
And what I've noticed is when banks get a little tighter, sometimes angel investors and venture capitalists are a little bit more aggressive. And then when that flips and banks are a little looser, they might be a little bit more cautious.
Right.
But definitely there is money to be had out there, even in today's temperature.
Well, there is. I mean, there are a lot of different ways you can come up with money for your business. I'm a big fan of equity line of credit in your house. I've mortgaged my house so many times, the roof shakes, literally. But that's easy money to get. Banks are not lending so much, and even if they are, you're going to have to put your name, your personal name on collateral. So it's not as easy as it used to be, but there is money out there.
There is. And real quick, there's always been this debate about, is it better to start your own business and go through all the angst and pains and the growing, or to just figure out a way to get the capital to buy an existing business, which actually comes with its own set of headaches as well. But there is pros and cons to each. What's your thought?
Well, it strictly depends on you. Do you have an idea that you want to start from scratch and grow it? Or if there's a business, a good ongoing business, or maybe if it's a business in trouble that you can turn around. You've already got things in place. It's a great way to get there quickly. You know, what you may have to start up and spend years building, you may be able to buy something and immediately go in.
Absolutely right. And real quick, Tim, for the viewer out there that's you know, contemplating starting their own business, or maybe they've been laid off and they're saying, you know what, I think it's time. I want to pursue that vision and get in the pool and become an entrepreneur. Do you have any advice to our viewers out there?
I do. In this economy especially, a lot of people are out of work, losing their jobs, and an alternative is always, should I start a business? You know, after you're laid off, out of work, is usually not the best time, but it is a time of opportunity. So just make sure business is really right for you and your idea is good, and go for it.
And real quick, I want to mention the book.
Read the book.
Everything I know about business, I learned from my mama. And I have to tell you, this book is hilarious.
Thank you.
And I know you do have a background as a comedian as well, so you see a lot of that Foxworthy type humor in it. But really powerful business lessons, real meat and potatoes in here. And I recommend the book, available everywhere. But if people want more information, where can they go?
Just go to the website, timknox.com, and a lot of content there, a lot of videos, and you can buy the book.
Tim Knox, everybody. Thank you so much, Tim.
Appreciate it, man.
That's our show. We're out of time. I want to give a special thanks to Margot Bush and also Amy Norris for stopping by. And don't forget to get involved in your local community and be forgiving of others. Good night, everybody.